My name is Camille. This is week 1, day 4 of a Bible in a Year, Tanakh Project. Let's begin. Genesis 12. Now Adonai said to Avram, "Get yourself out of your country, away from your kinsmen and away from your father's house, and go to the land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation. I will bless you, and I will make your name great, and you are to be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, but I will curse anyone who curses you. And by you, all the families of the earth will be blessed." So Avram went, as Adonai had said to him, and Lot went with him. Avram was 75 years old when he left Haran. Avram took his wife Sarai, his brother's son Lot, and all their possessions which they had accumulated, as well as the people they had acquired in Haran. Then they set out for the land of Canaan and entered the land of Canaan. Avram passed through the land to the palace called Shechem, to the oak of Moreh. The Canaanites were then in the land. Adonai appeared to Avram and said, "To your descendants I will give this land." So he built an altar there to Adonai, who had appeared to him. He left that place, went to the hill east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, with Beit-El to the west and Ai to the east. He built an altar there and called on the name of Adonai. Then Avram traveled on, continuing toward the Negev. But there was a famine in the land, so Avram went down into Egypt to stay there, because the famine in the land was severe. When he came close to Egypt and was about to enter, he said to Sarai his wife, "Hear now, I know that you are a good-looking woman, so that when the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'This is his wife,' and kill me but keep you alive. Please say that you are my sister, so that it will go well with me for your sake, and so that I will stay alive because of you." When Avram entered Egypt, the Egyptians did notice that the woman was very beautiful. Pharaoh's princes saw her and commended her to Pharaoh. So the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. He treated Avram well for her sake, giving him sheep, cattle, male and female donkeys, male and female slaves, and camels. But Adonai inflicted great plagues on Pharaoh and his household because of Sarai, Avram's wife. Pharaoh called Avram and said, "What is this that you have done to me? Why didn't you tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say, 'She is my sister,' so that I took her to be my own wife? Now therefore, here is your wife. Take her and go away." So Pharaoh gave orders concerning him to his men, and they sent him on his way with his wife and everything he had. Genesis 13. Avram went up from Egypt, he, his wife, and everything he had, and Lot with him, into Negev. Avram became wealthy with much cattle, silver, and gold. As he went on his travels from the Negev, he came to Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Ai, where he had first built the altar, and there Avram called on the name of Adonai. Lot was traveling with Avram, also had flocks, herds, and tents, but the land could not support their living together, because their possessions were too great for them to remain together. Moreover, quarreling arose. between Abram and Lot's herdsmen. The Canaanite and the Perizi were then living in the land. Abram said to Lot, "Please, let's not have quarreling between me and you, or between my herdsman and yours, since we're kingsmen. Isn't the whole land there in front of you? Please separate yourself from me. If you go to the left, I will go to the right. If you go to the right, I will go to the left." Lot looked up and saw that the whole plain of the Jordan was well watered everywhere, before Adonai destroyed Sodom and Amorah, like the garden of Adonai, like the land of Egypt, in the direction of to Zoar. So Lot chose all the plain of the Jordan for himself, and Lot traveled eastward. Thus they separated themselves from each other. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, and Lot lived in the cities of the plain, setting up his tent near Sidon. Now the men of Sodom were evil, committing great sins against Adonai. Adonai said to Abram, after Lot had moved away from him, "Look all around you, from where you are, to the north, the south, the east, and the west. All the land you see, I will give to you and your descendants forever. I will make your descendants as numerous as the specks of dust on the earth, so that if a person can count the specks of dust on the earth, then your descendants can be counted. Get up and walk through the length and breadth of the land, because I will give it to you." Abram moved his tent and came to live by the oaks of Mamre, which are in Hebron. There he built an altar to Adonai. Genesis 14. When Amraphel was king of Shinar, Arioch king of Elasar, Kedorlaomer king of Elam, and Tidal king of Gohim, they made war against Bera king of Sidom and against Bersha king of Amorah. Shinav king of Admah, Shemever king of Tisboim, and the king of Bela, which is the name of Zoar. All the latter kings joined forces in Siddim Valley, where the Dead Sea is. They had served Kedorlaomer 12 years, but in the 13th year they rebelled. In the 14th year, Kedorlaomer and the kings with him came and defeated the Rephaim in Ashtaroth-Karnaim, the Zuzuim in Ham, the Enim in Shaveh-Kiriathaim, and the Hori at Seir, their mountain, all the way to El Parim by the desert. Next they turned back, came to En Mishpat, which is the same as Kadesh, and defeated all the country of Amaleki, and also the Emori, who lived in Hadzeton Tamar. Then the kids of Sidom, Amorah, Admah, Zuphoim, and Bela, that is Zoar, came out and arrayed themselves for battle in the Siddim Valley against Kedorlaomer king of Elam, Tidal king of Gohim, Amraphel king of Admah, and Aroke king of Elazar, 4 kings against the 5. Now the Siddim Valley was full of clay pits, and when the kids of Sidom and Amorah fled, some fell into them, while the rest fled to the hills. The victors took all the possessions of Sidom and Amorah and all their food supply, then they left. But as they left, they took Lot, Avram's brother's son, and his possessions, since he was living in Sodom. Someone who had escaped came and told Avram, the Hebrew, who was living by the oaks of Mamre, the Amorite brother of Eshcol and brother of Aner, all of them allies of Avram. When Avram heard that his nephew had been taken captive, he led out his trained men who had been born in his house, 318 of them, and went in pursuit as far as Dan. During the night, he and his servants divided his forces against them, then attacked and pursued them all the way to Hova, north of Damascus. He recovered all the goods and brought back his nephew Lot with his goods, together with the woman and the other people. After his return from slaughtering Kedorlaomer and the kings with him, the king of Sodom went out to meet him in the Shaveh Valley, also known as the King's Valley. Melchizedek, king of Shalem, brought out bread and wine. He was Kohen of El Elyon, God's Most High. So he blessed him with these words: Blessed be Avram by El Elohim, maker of heaven and earth, and blessed be El Elyon, who handed your enemies over to you. Avram gave him a tenth of everything. The king of Sodom said to Avram, Give me the people and keep the goods for yourself. But Avram answered the king of Sodom, I have raised my hand in oath to Adonai, El Elyon, maker of heaven and earth, that I will not take so much as a thread or a sandal tongue of anything that is yours, so that you won't be able to say, I made Avram rich. I will take only what my troops have eaten, and the share of spoil belonging to the men who came with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre. Let them have their share. Genesis 15. Sometime later, the word of Adonai came to Avram in a vision. Don't be afraid, Avram. I am your protector. Your reward will be very great. Avram replied, Adonai, God, what good will your gifts be to me if I continue childless? And Eliezer from Damascus inherits my possessions. You haven't given me a child. Avram continued, So someone is born in my house, be my heir. But the word of Adonai came to him, This man will not be your heir, no. Your heir will be a child from your own body. Then he brought him outside and said, Look up at the sky and count the stars. If you can count them, your descendants will be that many. He believed in Adonai, and he credited it to him as righteousness. Then he said to him, I am Adonai, who brought you out from Kasdim to give you this land as your possession. He replied, Adonai, God, how am I to know that I will possess it? He answered him, Bring me a 3-year-old cow, a 3-year-old female goat, a 3-year-old ram, a dove, and a young pigeon. He brought him all these, cut the animals in two, and placed the pieces opposite each other. But he didn't cut the birds in half. Birds of prey swooped down on the carcasses, but Avram drove them away. As the sun was about to set, a deep sleep fell on Avram. Horror and great darkness came over him. Adonai said to Avram, Know this for certain. Your descendants will be foreigners in a land that is not theirs. They will be slaves and held in oppression there 400 years. But I will also judge that nation, the one that makes them slaves. Afterwards, they will leave with many possessions. As for you, You will join your ancestors in peace and be buried at a good old age. Only in the fourth generation will your descendants come back here, because only then will the emery be ripe of punishment. After the sun had set, and there was thick darkness, a smoke fire pot and a flaming torch appeared, which passed between these animal parts. That day Adonai made a covenant with Avram. I have given this land to your descendants, from the valley of Egypt to the Red River, the Euphrates River, the territory of the Kenny and the Nizi, the Kadmoni, the Hitti, the Rizi, the Rephaim, the Emori, the Kenani, the Girgashi, and the Fusi.